Hello again, everybody. Zack is here with my NXT Takeover, our Evolution review for tonight's Thursday, December the 11th, 2014. Alright, I, of course, like many others, despite being shoved down the throats of everybody because of the endless promotion for it, I have subscribed to WWE Network for $9.99. And I've seen the NXT events before, like the Arrival, the first takeover in May. I made a takeover Fatal 4-Way review back in September. Now, I've been watching the main NXT 1-hour shows for the last couple months since the takeover Fatal 4-Way. And I don't review the NXT events, you know, the 1-hour spot, just the regular series. I review the specials. And this special tonight, our Evolution, was just freaking epic. NXT to me is the best show WWE's got right now. It's pure wrestling and pure excitement. And tonight was no exception. The last couple of specials, like I said, the Arrival, the Takeover, the last event, Takeover, Fatal 4, was just epic. I think this one tonight was as epic tonight. We had a big debut, as you see from my subtitle, a big debut tonight. And he made a big impact at the end of the show, as we crowned the new NXT champion as a beloved fan favorite, finally won the big one. I will give this event 7.0. The undercard was great. The two main event matches, the main event and Corbin, was just epic tonight. So let's get going. We had, of course, the pre-show, no matches, but we had a NXT star, Corey Graves, come on. I've never seen him because he probably got injured when I started watching NXT full time. The 1-hour NXT shows, you know, regularly Thursdays, and this Corey Graves guy got injured apparently, and he had retired, but he is now an announcer now. So it's kind of cool that we didn't let him just say, "Hey, you injured, you're fired." Just let him give another job for him in NXT, letting him be a commentator. So with him in the announce booth, we kick off the show with the debut of Kevin Owens, a.k.a. Kevin Steen, from OOH. I have not seen OOH stuff before. You know, I might have seen like one or two things in that a couple of times, but not a lot. But I've heard of this Kevin Steen guy. I heard he was leaving OOH this summer, and then I knew he was coming to WWE, and they've been teasing his debut for weeks, and he made his debut tonight. First match of the night, taking on the Ego Warrior, CJ Parker. And this Kevin Owens guy, whatever you want to call him, Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen, has his own gimmick. The chant, fight Owens fight. It's fight Steen fight, but now he's fight Owens fight since he's you know, the new name. And this was just a great debut for Kevin. This Kevin Owens guy is a big 300-pound guy or whatever. He is just a bountiful of energy. You know, he's just an ass kicker, this guy. He just destroyed CJ Parker. CJ Parker did have some offense in, including a big slap to Kevin Owens' face that made him bleed a little bit. I was like, how can one big slap to the face get Kevin Owens' nose broken? But I think just the impact of the slap, maybe probably broke his nose. That's why he bled a little bit after that big slap from CJ Parker. But Steen had some big moments in this match. Owens, he had a big splash off the top rope onto the floor. That impact on the floor, he just landed on top of CJ on the floor. And he just landed on him. Just heavy impact. It was just holy shit. You know, this guy's agile as hell for being his size and weight. You know, I mean, he just looked really good in his debut. And after the big cut in the nose, after being slapped by Mr. Parker, he got back in the game, going for a big lariat and a pop handle slam. I love that move. He just nailed the guy's head on his knee, going up for a power bomb and a 1-2-3 victory for Kevin Owens in his NXT debut. He played the babyface role to begin the night, but by the end of the night, he would turn heel to spoil a great moment. But despite that, hey, nice. I think this guy got potential. You know, I'll talk about him more when I get to the heel turn he did at the end of the main event match tonight. And I think he's got potential. You know, he's got great agility, great ass-kicking moves. And now that, I think he'll be a good heel. You know what I mean? After what he did tonight, I think he's headed towards a possible win for the NXT title one day. You know, he's got potential, like I said. 2.5 just because it was a little squash show. It was like 2.5 minutes, but still. It made CJ Parker look okay in this match, but it was all about the debut of Kevin Owens. He looked really good in this matchup. Really great debut here for him as a babyface first. But like I said, by the end of the night, he wouldn't be a babyface for long. Now on to the next matchup for the NXT Tag Team Championships. With Lucha Dragons, the team of Kalisto and Zayn taking on the Vaudevillians. Now, I like these Vaudevillian guys. You know, they got the gimmick, you know, the 1920s tough guy, strong man look, you know, with the black and white intro and just their style. And I think they'll be champs one day eventually. But tonight, it's not their night. Despite looking good early on, especially isolating Sin Cara and their opponent with a great double team work. This is a great tag team. And a fun matchup between both these two teams. You had a contrast of styles. You had the strength and power of the Vaudevillians. Of course, in English, and Simon Gotch. And of course, the fast flying moves of the Lucha Dragons, Kalisto. And Sin Cara, like I said, the strength advantage was clearly in the Vaudevillians' favor as they, like I said, isolated Sin Cara for most of the match. Not letting him tag in Mr. Kalisto using classic, traditional tag team techniques. What it calls the quick tags in and out. It just isolates Sin Cara going with some great double team moves until Sin Cara gets the hot tag to Kalisto. Now this Kalisto guy, I've seen him a few times. You know, I saw when he and Mr. Sin Cara won the tag team titles at the NXT Fatal 4-Way, beating the Ascension, who I think should be on the main roster soon, because they're just a badass tag team, this Ascension team. And we would see them later. I'll get to their match in a minute or two. But once Kalisto got in, he just looked good as he did in that match against the Ascension back in September. And he's giving the House of Fire, some big high-flying moves, some Hurricanrana moves. And he was trying to get the big win, get the big pin. But of course, one of the members of the Vaudevillians got in. Sin Cara took care of that. Before both Lucha Dragons would fly up the top, trying to take out both members of the Vaudevillians, but one of them got out of it, with Eddie English getting slammed by the Flying Lucha Dragons. With one member of the Vaudevillians out, Simon Gotch was the last man standing for his team, as he would be fed to Kalisto in his big finishing move, the Salida del Sol, for the 1-2-3 victory and retaining of the tag team titles by the team of the Lucha Dragons. 3.0 for this match. Very decent, fun match between both these teams. Like I said earlier, although it wasn't their night tonight, I think the Vaudevillians will make another one to be tag team champions again. I think they will be tag champions eventually if WWE gets it right. You know, they got the look, they got the gimmick, they got great wrestling ability, great tag team ability. You know, great double teaming moves in there. But I think eventually they'll be tag team champions one day. But Lucha Dragons are just a fun team to watch, and I think they'll be tag champions for a while. And when you're the team that beat the Ascension, the longest reigning tag team champions in NXT, you got some chips on your shoulder every night. You got to prove that you are the rightful team to be the team that deserve to beat the team of the Ascension. And Lucha Dragons have proved it every night. You know, they're just a fun team to watch. They're just electrifying the crowd. The crowd loves them. The crowds at NXT have been my favorite crowds of all the wrestling shows. I love the crowd at NXT. It's at Full Sail University, and they're better than when TNA was in Orlando. When TNA was in Orlando, you know, it was a theme park. People went there to see wrestling. They just thought, oh, wrestling, let's watch it. But these Full Sail University guys, they go every week. They're dedicated fans. And you see it every week with the fans chanting. It'd be crazy. It was a good matchup between these two teams. That's a 3.0. Now, speaking of fans going crazy, fans went crazy for a new breakout star in the world of NXT, known as the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin. Now, this guy, speaking of having a good look, he's just got the whole gimmick down, the Lone Wolf, and he just beats people in seconds. You know what I mean? 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. And the fans, I love the fans actually count as he took on Ty Dillenger in a special matchup, and it was 40 seconds. Probably one of his longest matches I've seen, like 15 seconds, 16 seconds, 20 seconds, about 45 seconds, as Baron Corbin took good work and made easy work on Ty Dillenger, just pounding on him until getting him in for his end of days. I love that finish. I love that finisher. Watching at ringside is another guy who likes to beat people up fast in a big knuckle brawler boy known as Bull Dempsey. And a couple weeks ago on a regular NXT show, these two kind of crossed paths, and I think they will eventually cross paths in the ring eventually. I think they're teasing that feud. As with tonight having Bull Dempsey watch Baron Corbin's match. So I think these two will eventually feud 1.0 because it was a squash, but still. This Baron Corbin dude, he's getting these quick victories, but let's see what happens when he gets in a wheel-long match, especially if he faces off against Bull Dempsey eventually. Because Bull Dempsey, I've seen this guy, he's just a brawl, he's just a brute. He's just a big bully, hence the name Bull, and he's just a tough motherfucker. Now on to our next matchup. Of course, at the last NXT event, NXT Fatal 4-Way, as I mentioned, the Ascension, the longest reigning tag team champions in NXT history, their reign finally ended to the aforementioned Lucha Dragons. Frustrated, they took it out on the debuting Kenta, or as his new name is, of course, Mr. Hideo Itami. They took their frustrations on him, and for the next couple weeks, they would deliver 2-on-1 attacks on Hideo Itami, even on his mentor, Funaki. Hideo was sick and tired of getting the 2-on-1 assaults. He needed a tag team partner to bring in. So he brought in another debuting wrestler, Finn Balor, to the rescue. And these two teams had a fight a few weeks ago, but it wasn't really a sanctioned match. But tonight was the proper match. The Ascension team up against Finn Balor and Hideo Itami, and this Finn Balor dude, his name is Prince Devitt, another big international guy signing on the WWE. Finn Balor is becoming in with this look, like big, just a generic tights and slick back hair and all that. And he said to the Ascension about a few weeks ago, "You're gonna see something you've never seen before." Well, boy oh boy, did he give the Ascension something they never seen before. No other WWE and NXT universes. Finn Balor came out in like this war paint thing. He had full-on war paint, and he looked awesome in this new look of his. No one has used face paint the way Finn Balor has in WWE in a while, because Jeff Hardy did the whole face paint thing. Usos do the face paint thing too, but just a little one side of the face. But Finn Balor went all out. He painted his whole face, and he has the whole thing down. He's like a warrior with this whole thing, Ultra Warrior body war paint too. Pun there, but still, Finn Balor's new look, he looked awesome in that. The face paint, and these two guys have been pounding on by Ascension for weeks, and we all knew this was going to be a brawl, and this was a freaking brawl. Starting off from the get-go as Finn Balor and Hideo Itami came in with emotions high and came in with fury. Even before the bell began, it was just pounding on the Ascension before the bell began, and their momentum carried on as the match ran on, as the match started, should I say, with the emotional start getting them through until, of course, the Ascension, being as tough as they are, Connor and Victor, like I said, being the most dominant NXT Tag Team Champions of all time, took control and isolated Hideo in the corner. And this was a very fun match as well. A very back and forth match between both these guys, both these teams, with the Ascension just pounding in the corner. And these two guys, I've been applauding these guys on my reviews, that when these guys go to the main roster, they would just fuck things up. They would just destroy the roster. We need new tag teams in the WWE Tag Team Division. The main division, they have okay teams, but it's just the same kind of teams. There's no big heel team now. And like Miz and Mizdow supposed to be the heels, but Mizdow is getting more pop. We need a dominant heel team. We don't have a big heel team in the main roster right now to dominate the tag team division. And the Ascension could be that next big heel team if they would get called up to the roster. And I think they would do awesome. They just got that look about them and just the pure strength of these guys. They just beat the shit out of these guys. And I've seen these guys in action in various other NXT events, and these guys are just brawlers, and these guys would be devastating in the tag team division of WWE as they have been in NXT. So the Ascension took control with the big double team moves and great tag in and out. Here comes Finn Balor. Fans were just chanting for Finn Balor, and every time that Hideo would gain momentum and try to get an opportunity to get Finn Balor in, he would get pulled back out and double teamed again by the Ascension, like they had been on Mr. Hideo for a couple weeks until Finn Balor came in. Literally until Finn Balor came in this match as well. And Finn Balor would come in like a house of fire, coming with some big high-flying moves. He was going for his big move. The finish is a stomp. He doesn't even do finisher though. Than just going to the top move for a big stomp. I do like that move though. But he missed it. Hideo was teasing a move. He was teasing a move And then, all of a sudden, the crowd would booming as the Ascension broke it up. And just bang. The Ascension came flying back. They're setting up for the big double team move. The Fallen Man, that's a vicious double team move. On Itami. And then, actually on Finn Balor first. Finn Balor was going to be set up for the Fallen Man. And Hideo would pull one of the Ascension members out of the ring. Getting Mr. Balor the opportunity to get back in the game. With some big kicks of his own, big insecurity kicks. Including a big Pele kick. And with both Ascension guys on the ground. Both Balor and Itami would come up the top rope with both big double splash moves in a 1-2-3 victory for the Team of Hideo and Finn Balor. Two guys with bright futures in NXT. 3.2 from these two guys. Just a fun little brawl match. You know, this was just a war between these two guys, these two teams. I think this could be a sign in my mind with the Ascension losing to two new hot guys, Hideo and Mr. Balor. I think it's a sign that the Ascension might be called up to the main roster very soon. So, you know, they lost the tag team titles. They lost tonight. So I think Ascension should go up to the main roster, like I said, to really shake up the tag division. Because I know they will on the main roster. Now, on to the best two matches of the night. I never thought I would put a women's match in the best match category. But this was one of those exceptions. The Divas division is all about hair pulling. And silly shit. Stupid shit. But NXT's where women actually wrestle. And two of the best women wrestlers right now in NXT especially is the women's champion Charlotte defending her title against Sasha Banks, the boss, former BFFs. And I thought they've been accompanied by people at ringside, you know, Bayley, a happy-go-lucky hug girl who lost to Charlotte at NXT Fatal 4-Way, found newfound respect. Charlotte turned face immediately after showing respect to Bayley and having Bayley's back. But then Sasha Banks has been attacking Bayley with her new best friend, Becky Lynch. I thought both those two would be involved. But thankfully, it was just one-on-one. Sasha and Charlotte. And these two women had a badass match. Probably one of the best women's matches I've seen since Charlotte against Natalya. Charlotte's been delivering some epic matches lately in NXT. Bringing back glory to women's wrestling in WWE. You know, once Charlotte comes into WWE, even though she did lose to Natalya on Raw Monday, I think Charlotte could really bring back real women's wrestling, which she has done with Natalya, given the opportunity. You know, NXT is the perfect playground for wrestling. And NXT let their wrestlers really wrestle. And nothing shows better than this. Nothing proves it better than this women's match tonight. Very back and forth match. Very exciting. For women's matches, like I said, one of the best women's matches I've seen in recent history. I know I've seen, like I said, Charlotte and Natalya's matches was great. So was the Bayley match against Charlotte, but tonight was just epic. Sasha Banks looked awesome tonight. She was just on top of it. These two girls were just going at it, just beating the crap out of each other for that NXT championship. And Sasha Banks has been playing these mind games on Charlotte, you know, making fun of her family heritage. Because Charlotte's the daughter of Ric Flair, and Sasha was doing the chops and the woo, you know, trying to play mind games with Charlotte, getting into her head. She was really on top of it. The crowd was siding with Sasha Banks. You know what I mean? Sasha's a heel here, but they're cheering on Sasha, and Sasha looked awesome, like I said, in this matchup. She was just on top of it, trying so hard to be the champion. It was just intense. She was going for a big move. The Banks statement was just a backstabber, setting up for a submission attempt. And it was just crazy. Like I said, these two girls were just putting on a clinic. This is a women's wrestling clinic, proving that this is women's wrestling. You know, the crowd was shitting. This is awesome. This should have said during the chance, better than Divas, because that's fucking true. This is better than Divas. These two guys were just wrestling, just pure grappling and brawling. It was just a little bit of everything. There was brawling. There was pure wrestling. It was just a very entertaining, very exciting fight between these two women. And you can't say that often about most women's matches in WWE. But this is the exception. These two girls were just epic tonight. And some great spots with these two delivering, especially the ending. Sasha Banks and Natalya, loser of the woman who beat Natalya at NXT, but then lost to Natalya on Raw, being, of course, Charlotte would just duking it out. Both were going for submissions. But then, like I said, both girls were going on the top rope. And then Sasha Banks was being set up by Charlotte to do her finish. And then, like I said, Charlotte would come back, with her finish off the top rope, the natural selection off the top rope. That's awesome. I've never seen Charlotte do the natural selection off the top rope before. She nailed it. 1, 2, 3 victory. Charlotte retains the NXT Women's Championship. I think Sacha will be champion eventually. Like I said, I say it about everybody. You know, I think Sasha's got a good chance to go for champion again. Because she looked awesome tonight. Even though she lost tonight. By the way, 3.5. Second best match of the night. Sasha's got nothing to be ashamed of. Her performance tonight was just epic. And for a little girl, she's got a lot of bite. You know, she talks a lot of talk, being the boss of NXT. She proved it tonight. She backed it up, and she gave Charlotte a fight tonight. She looked really good tonight, like I said. She just gave it to Charlotte, but it just wasn't enough to dethrone the women's champion NXT, Charlotte, who's held on to that championship since May. So there we go with that. Great match. Great, exciting match for women's match. It was just epic tonight. Great women's match. And it was just exciting to watch. Real women's wrestling is back in the WWE and NXT. Now, speaking of NXT, on with the main event of the evening. Sami Zayn against Adrian Neville for the NXT Championship. Now, when the network first came around, I never really watched NXT, the show. I've heard about NXT, but then I was just surfing on the network one day, you know, just watching the live stream just for shits and giggles, just to see what's on. And this was before the first NXT event, NXT Arrival. I watched a match, it just came on the live stream, Sami Zayn against Cesaro, and that was the first time I ever saw anybody from NXT. And Sami Zayn became my instant new favorite guy. And I've seen him in every NXT event, you know, Arrival, Takeover, the first one, and of course Takeover Fatal 4-Way. And Sami's been my favorite. He's just a fun, energetic guy. You know, he's just got a lot of heart, a lot of passion. Reminds me a little bit about Daniel Bryan. You know, he's always the underdog, builds the underdog, but he's got the fan support with the ole, 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 ole. But Sami, despite being a favorite, he could never win the big one. Anytime there's a big pressure match, he could never deliver. Especially during the last TakeOver event at Fatal 4-Way, Sami was inches away from being the NXT champion. But his so-called best friend, Adrian Neville, pulled the referee out, screwing Sami Zayn out of winning the championship that night. And I predicted to myself that Sami Zayn would face off against Adrian Neville tonight at TakeOver. They did have a match a few weeks ago. But Sami, one of his big downplays, one of his flaws has been he let his emotions get to him. And he got emotional when Sami Zayn got emotional when Neville got injured during the match and Neville played possum. I thought Sami got screwed out of that match. So I knew there would be a rematch tonight. And this match was just a clinic as well. These two guys, I love Neville too, right? I'm a Sami Zayn guy, but I like Neville too. Neville's a great high-flying guy, but he's like the heel in this case. Because the fans love Sami. You can tell the reaction from the get-go. You know, they were booing Neville heavily. You know, they loved Neville. But after Neville kind of screwed Sami over at the Fatal 4-Way, pulling the referee out as Sami was inches away from finally winning the championship, that's when I think the fans turned on him because they didn't like Adrian Neville screwing their guy. You know, the one. The one they love the most. Sami Zayn, the most beloved guy. That's why I love him too. You know what I mean? And this is just a pure athletic match. It was just a pure story. A story that had a trunk full of emotions during this matchup. And these two guys were just blowing it up as well. These two guys had a classic matchup. Their match a few weeks ago was awesome. And tonight's match, no exception. It was just back and forth action with both these great athletes. Neville was just on top of his game. So was Sami Zayn as well. Looking awesome with his big flying moves up the top rope. Some big spots in this matchup. One of my favorite spots, though, was when Sami Zayn went over the turnbuckle and onto the floor with a big tornado DDT on Neville on the floor. That was awesome. You know what I mean? And Sami's big finish is the Lucha kick. When he gets a guy in a corner and gets this big kick in the corner. He tried that spot many times during that matchup. When he had the opportunity to get the upper hand here. But, of course, Sami, like I said, his big flaw has been he lets his emotions get to him. And unfortunately for Sami, those emotions almost cost him the match yet again. Referee was knocked down a few times in this matchup. And Sami Zayn showed more concern over the referee than trying to beat up Neville when the referee's still down, trying to still take advantage and not let the referee get to him. He didn't have his head in the game. He always gets distracted. And unfortunately, too many times in this matchup, Sami's emotions got the best of him. It looked like it was going to be the same old story with Neville capitalizing on Sami's emotions, toying with him. As Sami was set up for the red arrow, which is a big, I love that move, that big flying splash from Neville off the top rope. But then Sami would put his feet up, blocking it, and kicking out. And once again, referee got knocked out as Sami was once again setting up for the Lucha kick. He tried that move many times, but he nailed the Lucha kick that one time. But then the referee was pushed in the way, and the referee was knocked out in the corner as well. Referee was out. Couldn't count, and Neville grabbed the belt. Looked like he was going to get away. But then the belt got in the ring, and Sami Zayn had the belt in his hand. He didn't know what to do. Was he going to use the belt and risk disqualification? Because he put a stipulation on himself tonight. If he lost this match and could not win the big one tonight, again, and win the NXT Championship finally, he would leave NXT. He put the belt down. You could see him say, fuck it. They bleeped him on the network. He put the belt down, and then he got a big kick from Neville. Once again, taking the advantage of Sami's emotions, toying with them, and nailing a big move following the big kick. And then Sami would get out of that. There was a, like I said, this match was just great. There was some great spots in this matchup. You mentioned Sami Zayn had a submission on Neville one time. After he blocked the red arrow, I think that's when he put him in submission. But then after Sami did not use the belt, and Sami was pinned by Neville, but kicked out of it, following an STO, Sami would finally get the Lucha kick that had the most damage. Bang! Lucha kick finally connects. Referee was ready to go. And the 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn is finally the NXT champion. He finally won the big one. I read an article a few weeks ago about Sami Zayn being so popular and everything, and that WWE needed to pull the trigger. Either send him to the main roster or let him be NXT champion. And tonight, he finally became NXT champion. I predicted it tonight. I predicted that not only would Sami Zayn, I didn't predict on the show, but I predicted to my friends that, and my dad who watches the shows with me, that not only would I think that Neville would take on Sami Zayn tonight, I predict that this would be the night for Sami Zayn to be champion. The next NXT special, it would be a big celebration. Because if Neville would have won, the crowd would have been riotous. You know, because like I said, they love Sami and they don't want Sami getting screwed again. They love Sami. Sami, like I said, reminds me of D-Bry, because of D-Bry, all these obstacles. Like D-Bry, every time he got close to the big one, he got screwed every time. You know what I mean? The fans rallied behind him. They wanted Daniel Bryan to be their guy, to be the top guy. And he finally did. Terry got injured. I hope that don't happen to Sami. You know, he's their guy, being held down for so long, and he finally won the big one. Hope he doesn't get injured either. But it was a proud moment for Sami. 4.0 match. It was just a great back-and-forth match for both these great young athletes, hungry for the spotlight. And Sami finally did it. He won the big one. Down the ring, celebrated. All the NXT locker room cleared out. You know, even my favorite guys who didn't wrestle tonight, Enzo Amore and Big Cass. I love those guys. They remind me of New Age Outlaws because I love repeating their slogan when they come out like, "My name is Enzo Amore, and I'm a certified G and a certified glorified stud, and you can't teach that." And of course, the word SNWFD. So there's so many guys at NXT. I love NXT now. I'm like a diehard NXT fan now, watching it every week at night, not just the specials like I have been. So, like I said, all the superstars in the ring, including Kevin Steen and Kevin Owens, who's like a legit best friend of Sami Zayn in the ring, hugging. You know, Kevin Steen had wrestled with all these guys like Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn, all these guys that went in the company before Kevin Owens, and finally he got the opportunity for his own, but he was so proud of his friend, Sami Zayn, hugging him. You know, it's just a good moment. And even Adrian Neville got back up and he offered, well, Sami offered to shake Neville's hand, but it looked like a backhanded slap. Neville refused a handshake, but he got a hug instead. So Neville, I think, patched things up with Sami Zayn. Neville had a good performance too, but it's Sami's time. You know, the fans have been clamoring for Sami to finally win the big one, and he finally did tonight. But, like I said, the movement would be tarnished a little bit by a heel turn. Like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, that Kevin Owens would play the babyface in the first matchup of the night. But by the end of the night, Kevin Owens would turn heel on his so-called best friend, Mr. Sami Zayn. They were walking back to the ring, after all the superstars left. Sami Zayn was raised his hand by Kevin Steen again outside, but then all of a sudden, I don't know where, Kevin Owens just wham! Clothesline Sami and nailed him outside the ring apron, knocking him out. And William Regal came out to try to congratulate Sami, and you could see William Regal, who's the commissioner of NXT, his face was like of disgust that Kevin Owens would ruin this moment for Sami, attacking him after winning a beautiful, brutal match against Adrian Neville. We would end the night with the new NXT champion laid out by Kevin Owens. Now, I think we got a feud going with Mr. Owens against Sami Zayn. And it'll play up on the fact that Kevin Owens, like I said, he had to wait and just sit and watch all these other guys like Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville and Seth Rollins, all of his so-called friends get called onto the roster before he did. That's what they're going to play off of. Like you're probably saying to Sami, I had to sit back and watch you get all the glory, see you go to WWE, and I had to sit back on the sidelines. And now it's my time. It's not about you, it's about me. That's what I think they're going to play with. Now I think that'll be an intriguing feud with Kevin Steen / Owens against Sami Zayn. And I think Kevin Owens could have been a good babyface, but I think he could be a beautiful heel. And he showed the potential of his heel turn tonight, just attacking Sami Zayn out of nowhere. Because I think now that Neville, like I said, is turning babyface again, and kind of patched things up with Sami Zayn and may have regained the respect of not just Sami Zayn after all that they've been through, and also the respect of the fans after screwing Sami over and finally letting Sami beat him for the title. Now we have a new heel to deal with Kevin Owens. I think it'd be a very intriguing feud, and I think it could go over to the next event. Here the next event might take place during WrestleMania weekend. And that would be a great spotlight for them if they have this next event, the next NXT 2-hour special during WrestleMania week. Especially after tonight's night. Tonight's event was just epic. Great, exciting action tonight. Specifically, the 2 main event matches were just an exciting night to watch. It was a great wrestling. It was pure wrestling. That's why I'm loving NXT more and more. Once again, I'll give it a 7.5 actually. 7.5 tonight out of 10 overall event. And like I said, 4.0 out of 5 for the match of Neville and Zayn. With Sami Zayn finally winning the big one. Finally being NXT champion. Doesn't have to lead the NXT. But of course, getting attacked by Kevin Owens to end the night with him turning heel. So there you go. That is it. My NXT Takeover review. Takeover Our Evolution review. Thank you very much for watching. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you so much. Have a great night. See you later. Ole, 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 ole. See ya.